Unhealed trauma will have you ruining healthy relationships while blaming everybody else.
Walk it like I talk it, yeah, I walk it. Yeah. Flowers never grow without some water.
What's going on, Lions Den family? Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's another beautiful day for some motivation, so you know what we about to get into. That's right, but before we do that, hey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on those post notifications because I'm telling you, I got content coming your way and you want to be notified. But let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so let's get into it, right? There are a lot of times, in our lives where we experience things, right? We experience, hurt, pain, whatever the case may be, right? And in us experiencing these things, it's easy for us to place the blame on the people that are directly in front of us, right? At that moment, at that time, right? It's easy because it's what makes sense, right? We think that it's coming from them, right? We think that what we're feeling and how deep we're feeling it is mostly and it's totally because of them, right? But here's the reality of things, right? The reality of things is this. It's a deep-seated root to trauma that you have yet to deal with, that you have yet to face, that you have yet to overcome, that makes you believe this and makes you see that they're the ones that are at fault, rather than realizing that there's a deeper work that you have to do within yourself, right? And so what I want us to understand today, about this topic is that it's time for us to stop looking at things from a surface level, right? And start getting deeper, into our search of what it is that we are failing to deal with, what it is that we are failing to heal from, and what it is ultimately that we are failing to face. Because there is something for all of us to face in our lives, right? There is trauma that we deal with, right? Be it as kids, be it as young adults, be it as teenagers, even as grown adults, right? And whenever we refuse to deal with the trauma, we can experience things in life with people, right? And the slightest thing that they do, it brings us back to that earliest remembrance of pain, of hurt, of disappointment, of letdowns, or whatever the case may be, right? It brings us back to those places. It's the things that people currently do that will ultimately hit a trigger and spark something in us that will take us back to those moments. And as I stated before, we think that it's because of what they have just done, but it's really based on things from the past that are still living dormant in us. They're sitting in us, right? And every time a moment presents itself, it shows itself, right? It presents itself, but we look for every way to place blame wherever we feel comfortable or wherever we feel is necessary so that we don't have to tackle that thing. One thing I had to learn, in my journey, of healing and walking with God and getting to understand, my life and getting to understand, the things that I was dealing with, the things that I was going through. I had to do a deep search, right? I had to do this deep dive that I'm telling you guys about, right? I had to do this, right? I had to realize that it had everything to do with me. It had everything to do with what I was failing to face, right? I had a lot of trauma from my childhood, a lot of triggers, from my childhood that I never got the chance or the opportunity, or let me put it like this, I never gave myself the chance or the opportunity to deal with these things. So in every friendship, in every relationship, dealing with family, dealing with people that I would just encounter, be it at work, be it out in the world, whatever, anything that they did, to me, I would literally feel it in such a way to where it would take me to such a dark place. And I started to wonder why is it that they could do something that's so minuscule, right? They could do something that's not even, let's just be honest with you, it's not even that serious, it's not even that deep, right? But why do I feel the way that I feel about things that people do, things that people say, how people treat me, or whatever the case may be, right? And I came to realize it's because I was dealing with unhealed pain, unhealed hurt, unhealed, feelings of being let down and disappointed. You get what I'm saying? A lot of that, surfaced and surrounded around, me being a fatherless son growing up, right? Not having my father, having my father being, taken from me, when I was 2 months, right? To the streets. And that was the source of a lot of my pain, not having a relationship, with my family, my siblings, feeling that need to belong and wanting to be validated, or wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, right? All of those things were laying dormant in me. All of those things were going on the inside of me, right? But for me, it was easier to say, well, no, it's because you did this. Well, no, it's because you did that. No. At some point, we have to learn how to stop looking to point the finger and place blame, and realize that I have some trauma. I have trauma within myself that I need to deal with, that I need to work on. And so when we fail to realize that we are still living with trauma within us, anything that a person does, it will be magnified, right? It'll be magnified to the extreme, right? Because you triggered something, you hit something that I'm living in denial of, right? That I'm not fully sure how to deal with. And that's one of the biggest reasons as to why we don't overcome trauma the way that we should, is because the truth of the matter is that a lot of times we don't know how to deal, with trauma. We don't know how to get free from trauma. I've had to get, wisdom, and guidance. And a big part of that, obviously it's through prayer, through God, but was through my mom. You get what I'm saying? Through somebody that knew and understood how to deal with their own trauma in their life, to where she was able to help me, you get what I'm saying, to overcome a lot of the triggers and the traumas that I've dealt with in my life, right? And that's an important thing even for you, as you get into a place to where you're starting to look to grow, to where you're starting to look to no longer place blame, but take accountability and to deal with the things that you need to deal with, right? I'm not saying you're at fault. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that we rob ourselves of life, right? The goodness of life. We rob ourselves of things in life that we can be enjoying and that we can be having, because we're constantly holding on to these places, that are unhealthy. We're holding on to these places that we need to let go of, right? We're holding on to these memories, these moments in our life. You get what I'm saying? Where God wants us to let go, to allow him to heal us, to allow him to set us free from these things, so that we can enjoy the goodness of life, so that we can, enjoy, the blessings and the abundance and the things that he has for us, right? Because I'm a firm believer in that if you get anything in life, one, too soon, obviously you'll lose it. But also, if you get anything in life unhealed, it's gonna shine a light on you, right? And it's gonna expose so much that's in you, to where it's gonna cause you to spiral. It's gonna cause you to spiral out in such a way that you will ultimately lose everything that God has in store for you. And so that's why I'm also too a firm believer in doing the work before you get the blessings, doing the work before you get the abundance. We pray all the time, and we talk to God, and we have these goals, these dreams, these desires. We have these things that we want, out of life, right? And rightfully so. But when you start to obtain things, in a place of unhealthiness within self, in a place where you're not healed, in a place where you're still struggling with things, is gonna always be the thing that ruins any good thing that could possibly come your way. And that's something that I also want y'all to think about as you're watching this video, as you're thinking about this topic. You get what I'm saying, of trauma and what it is that you're dealing with or what you're refusing to deal with, right? And so I truly thank God, you know, as I stated within my journey, I truly thank God, you know, in helping me, you know, gain the courage, gain the strength, you know, to start saying, you know what, it's not their fault. It's not everybody else's fault. I got to take some accountability. I got to take some blame, because what I'm really doing is that I'm holding them to the pain of what other people have caused me. And that's what we do a lot. That's a big thing that happens with trauma, is that we tend to hold people to what other people have done to us, and we make them pay for it. We make them pay for it. You get what I'm saying? And it's a really unhealthy cycle, you know, that we have to learn how to come out of. It's an unhealthy cycle and way of living that we have to learn how to outgrow, that we have to learn how to let go of, and learn, obviously, I mean, ultimately how to live on the other side of that, right? And so again, I thank God, and I encourage us with this today. If you're watching this video, and if there's anything that you feel within yourself that you know is there, and that you know you are failing to deal with, I want to encourage you to no longer be afraid, no longer be ashamed to face that thing, no longer be afraid to give that thing a name. You know, call it out. Put a name to it. That's how it loses its power, right? That's how you get into a place to where you know and understand, that you fully recognize and understand the things that you deal with within your life, and what it is that you're struggling with, and what it is that you're going through, right? So don't be afraid to find yourself in that place, you know, of facing those things, dealing with those things, and ultimately asking God for the strength, you know, to overcome. To overcome those things. You don't want to just recognize them. You want to begin to do the work. You want to begin to put in the time, the energy, the effort. You get what I'm saying? And to becoming a better version of who God has called you to be, right? Who God has created you to be. That's the ultimate goal. We all should be pushing for healing. We all should be pushing for growth. We all should be pushing for betterment, right? We should not want to keep living in the same places. We should not want to keep being triggered. We should not want to keep, you know, experiencing things and blaming others because of things that mom, dad, family, old relationships, friendships, past things have brought us, right? We shouldn't keep allowing our present and our future to be ruined by our past, you know? So I want to encourage y'all with that, man. It's time to get healed. It's time to let go. It's time to be free. It's time to let go of the triggers. It's time to get free from that trauma. And it's time that you live your life. It's time that you get healed. And it's time that you let God mend your heart, to put your heart back together and to make it whole in Him and in Him alone. But hey, God bless y'all, man. God keep y'all. God cover y'all. God strengthen y'all, shield y'all, save y'all, and protect y'all. And as I always like to say, hey, look, be encouraged, get inspired, and stay uplifted. Again, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on those post notifications and come back to the channel for more content like this, because more content is coming. God bless y'all. Till next time. Yurt.
Wisdom is for free, but yet it's overpriced. And I never seen success happen overnight.